I have two situations here and I want you to be a part of both of that situation. Situation one is I want you to walk into a pizza shop and order a pizza for me. Situation two is I want you to call the pizza shop and place an order for me. And the situation looks very easy, right? But here's the twist. When you walk into the situation one, into a pizza shop and place the order, how would you place the order? Let's say I want a pepperoni pizza with extra cheese, but not a spicy one. Now, how would you place the order there? Would simply tell, hey, Katie wants a pepperoni pizza with extra cheese, but not spicy. That's it, right? And the person immediately understands it and then starts making the pizza, or tells the person to make the pizza, right? And this is a very easy situation where you're not explaining the ingredients separately. You're not selling pepperoni separately. You're not selling extra cheese separately. You're just telling it in one context and the person understands that context. And if you have placed the order like that, you're already AI capable. Now let me explain the situation too. Imagine you are in a very remote place. You don't have mobile internet. You have to call the pizza shop and place the order, and the network also is very bad. Now when you call the person, the shop who's taking the order for you is hearing only one word at a time. So when you tell pepperoni pizza with extra cheese, not spicy, 6 words, the person who's receiving your call is hearing only one word. So the first time when you tell this entire sentence, they would hear only pepperoni and they would be confused as like, what pepperoni? Now the second time when you repeat the sentence, the person on the other end understands pepperoni and pizza. So they're receiving the second word only then. So the third time when you repeat it, they would hear extra. Fourth time when you repeat it, they would extra cheese. And fifth time, not. And then sixth time, spicy. So only when you repeated your sentence 6 times, they heard one word at a time and they were able to make sense of your entire order. And this is a very tedious process. We know we don't want to be in a very bad network situation, but imagine AI or traditional and conventional AI was in this bad network situation for a very, very long time. And thanks to some of the researchers in Google, they invented the most important innovation in the current AI era in 2017 called transformers. And if you ask what is this transformer, the context that you gave it to the pizza shop in one sentence and the person on the other end was able to understand and then start working, that is transformer, passing something in the entire context, not one word at a time. So the way this works is the person on the other end who received your order in the pizza shop understood the words not independently, not one at a time, but by piecing the meaning of the words together. So when you said pepperoni pizza, extra cheese, not spicy, they realized what to be done and they immediately formed the meaning between each other or amongst each other, no matter where it is placed. Even if you say not spicy pepperoni pizza, extra cheese, they still understood it. Or if you say extra cheese pepperoni pizza, not spicy, it still formed the same meaning and the same context. And this exactly is called attention. The meaning of the words doesn't matter where it is placed in the entire sentence. All that matters is how it gets connected. This connection is what transformers did. So in 2017, 8 Google researchers were working on Google Translate. And if you ask why am I picking Google Translate, because that's the classic example of our one word situation, right? So back in 2017 or earlier, conventional AI models did not have transformers as a capability. So they translated only one word at a time. So if you give any sentence to Google Translate back in 2017, all it did was take one word, translate it into the language you wanted it to be, and then it did that for every other word over and over again until the entire sentence formed. And that's exactly why your old translate did not make much sense in your native language or the output language you wanted. And these researchers wanted to solve it because millions and millions of people were using Google Translate and they did not really had a good opinion on it. And one of the researchers called Ashish Vaswani proposed, hey, instead of passing just one word, why don't we let the AI or let the tool decide how to connect the words and then translate it based on that. It initially sounded crazy. Nobody agreed with him because every organization back then had the same capacity, same tools. They thought just changing one mechanism is not going to change how the entire translation works. So they refused to believe in it, but the mechanism proved them wrong. It kind of worked spectacularly well that everyone was amazed. And within a year, every AI company started using transformers, not just gradually, but they scrapped the old processes, replaced it with transformers. I'm talking about OpenAI, Meta, Microsoft, DeepMind, so many different organizations. And after that, transformers became the blueprint of how the AI industry is currently operating, like literally the blueprint of AI as an industry. So let's see how a transformer works in absolute sense, like in real world. Let's take this sentence. The coffee was cold because the cup was left on the table for too long. And in this sentence, what words form the most connection, right? And if I take one word, let's say cold, and if I pick other words from the same sentence, let's say coffee, then the connection is very strong there. And if I take cold and then if I connect it to a tea, or and the same word is cold, if I connect it to a cup, then the connection is strong but not strong enough like a coffee. And then if I connect it to cold and then left and then cold to no desk and any other word from that sentence, it doesn't make that connection. So the strongest connection here is cold and coffee, so it becomes cold coffee and the meaning gets formed there. So here the memory is not lost, and I know that instantly the cold coffee on the desk because it was on for a very long time, and I would not be able to easily forget that as well. So the transformer works in a very similar fashion. And here's a literal comparison of Google Translate before 2016 or by 2016 and this one in 2018, both having very similar sentences but giving a completely different response. And the interesting thing is, you have been using transformers lately in almost every tools and every technology on your daily basis. ChatGPT, Claude, Google Search, voice assistants, Spotify, and YouTube recommendations, or even YouTube, you probably have used transformers in an indirect sense. And that's mostly about transformers. But before I let you go, I wanted to clear you on 3 important preconceived notions so that you're not staying confused. 1. If you think transformers read like human from left to right or right to left, no, it does not. For a transformer, it is the entire sentence. And once it takes the sentence, it tries to form the connections between each of the words within that sentence and context. And 2, the bigger model it is, the better. No, it is not. So the model quality directly is proportional to the quality of the training that it got, not the size of it. Of course, size does matter, but not so much when it comes to the quality of the data it gets to get trained. And the third one, and the most important aspect, is that AI or transformers understand things like how we understand things. No, it doesn't. It doesn't understand the connection between you and your friend when you're having a conversation. It doesn't looks at things the way human looks at things. Instead, all it knows is it understands the pattern of information, any pattern. And these patterns are formed basis on millions and millions and millions of text, image, voice, and other aspects. But once you form pattern about so much data, prediction becomes or the output becomes very, very human-like. And that's exactly the reason why you would see great outputs coming out of every single AI tool as of today. But they are basically doing pattern magic. And if you have learned something, just one thing out of this video, share this with your friends so that they could have the benefit of learning. And if you're generous like AI in terms of giving the output, subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. And if you have some topics to be covered and if you're confused about something in AI world, leave that in the comment. We'll create a video for you then. And until next time, bye.